That's right. Live is not, it's not really live unless we do have technical difficulties, but here we are, everybody. Finally making it. Palo. Everybody was Palo. I hope you guys like that one. I spent a whole hour on it. My wife literally put her hands over her face at some parts and was like, the lip syncing was so bad. That's okay. It was for fun. Good. I'm glad you guys are excited. I'm excited. Yeah, and we're going to be doing a another interview at 1 p.m. my time. Right now it's 12:19 my time. And for some reason, my OBS isn't even working. That's why I'm on Restream here, which actually works flawlessly. I love it. That's why it looks a little bit different, but it seems to be working out pretty nicely. Yeah, it's midnight out in Palo. I'll have to go visit sometime. I'll have to take a trek. I am drinking kombucha. It is a local kombucha. This is not a product placement because I would charge for that. Yeah, I like kombucha. It's for those of you that don't know, it's kind of like what would you call it? Well, it's tea, but it's fermented. So good D's nuts joke. So I've always said Kroge is Kroge, but in the Philippines they say Kroge, which is fine too, or Kroge, or Kroge. I think a lot of people say Kroge. Thank you. I had fun making the video. Bill works too. Everybody was Kroger. Well, awesome. I'll kind of dig into it. So we have quite a lot of updates coming out in really the next month. I mean, there's a long roadmap of updates, which we kind of shared at the last large kind of gathering of everybody. But we're calling this phase 9, and there's going to be more details. I won't spill everything, but phase 9 is sort of the code name for a lot of these more permanent fixes to kind of lingering problems. Like you know, so right now, in fact, let me just share my screen as we're talking, kind of because I want to show you guys how I, you know, on a high level, even check the progress of our project, or the health of our communities, et cetera. And maybe this will, you know, even lead to some spaces where you guys can lend some other ideas. And you know, that's kind of one of the cool things about it being like a community-owned project is you guys who are skill token holders have it in your best interest to be bringing things to our attention that would be value adds. So anyways, let me go ahead and share. I already have CryptoBlades up actually. Well, so one thing that we're working on is that's the initial part of phase 9. So I won't get too distracted quite yet, but and there will be details. If there's not already an article on it, it will be out. We were working on that over the past couple of days with the marketing team, and this initial step of phase 9 is, now that we've secured our place back at the in the upper echelon, so to speak, of blockchain gaming with a significant an extremely valuable amount of daily active players, which for those of you that don't know about these types of tools, there's many of which that you can use to sort of see what the on-chain performance of different games are. If we go to blockchain games, here we have CryptoBlades, we're top 10. We have 30,000 daily active users. And what's pretty cool here too is you can see like how we've been doing over, I mean, you can technically see how we've been doing. So here we go. So since March, we were at 25,000. We've added over 5,000 daily active users over the course of the past month, okay? Which is awesome. If you look at OEC, I mean, I think that's gone up, let's see. Oh, I guess that's pretty stable. OEC is pretty stable. I mean, yes, we're going up, but don't look at that one. Curious how we are on Polygon. And the reason that we look at these kinds of things is, for one, it's helpful to compare against other projects. And it's also helpful to see like, oh, what kinds of, like, when I'm doing research or when the team is doing research, we take a look at, well, what are the actual on-chain transactions that are happening? So for example, if you look at something like Crazy Defense Heroes, very popular game, one of our partners, Animoca Brands, has developed and released this. I believe that they aren't just an investor. I believe that they actually launched this game, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. But when you look at the on statistics for Crazy Defense Heroes, a lot of it is actually just claims. So I typically will look at the smart contracts. We're not talking like layer one interactions. It's basically just a server out in the middle of space. People do things, but that tends to lead to a lot of botting activity. It means that people aren't able to earn very much. If any of you are playing Crazy Defense Heroes, I would love some even anecdotal data for you guys to share about what your earnings have been like on Crazy Defense Heroes. From what I hear, the game itself is pretty fun, but yeah. So anyway, so we look at projects like this and we compare and we say, okay, well, who are the kind of the real on-chain competitors and who are the ones that are maybe adding in some additional token economies through some claiming functionality. Like the difference here being that this is all of this is done on their centralized server. People can then they just make one function call. It's not really much of a smart contract other than it is a smart contract, but it's not much of a gameplay contract as much as it is just, hey, once a day you can claim. The amount that you can claim is based on some key that is inserted by the database. So anyways, that's, we look at the comparisons and we're continuing to increase at a steady rate, which is also important because did we lose audio or did you lose audio? Test. Oh, good. Okay. Sorry. Somebody said no audio, and I always I don't trust myself with technology a lot of times, but that's all right. Cool. So we take a look at that, and I'll kind of head back over to our page here, which has a lot of different smart chains because we like to do that. And yeah, so we gained 5,000 users, and how do we do that? Well, our marketing team, our business development team, we are consistently working on getting in front of users that either haven't yet played CryptoBlades or maybe used to play, and we want them back. And so that has been a primary strategy for us, is continuing to bring ourselves from, I think, at our all-time low after prior to all the reworks we did. So I'll kind of plug it over to our all graph here. We were at less than 5,000 daily active users in November, and I mean, we've steadily increased, which is pretty cool. That rate of increase is like very desirable. There's not many projects that have been able to achieve that. It's organic, it's all real players, and a lot of it has been due to the whole point I'm trying to get at is due to our low barrier of entry. So for those of you that know already, if you want to purchase a character, you can do so with less than half a skill token. So less than $3 basically. And you can start earning a little bit every day. If I want to go to, because I'm actually quite curious, I know I could use the, where is it? Oh, we're still, I think, working on the earnings calculator, if I'm not mistaken, which is incredibly important. And this is a new computer, that's why it's like adding in everything again, which actually kind of goes to show, we have a lot of pretty interesting things. And guys, if you haven't seen this up here, do this. Obviously, we want to reward you guys for taking part in our campaigns, but really we're trying to drive as many users as possible to our incubation projects, and we want you guys involved early, because the earlier you're there, the more you have to benefit. So we're going to be doing things like whitelistings for the IDOs of them. With Magic Connect, eventually there will be NFT drops and things like that. I won't take anything out of. I've been working very, very closely with Kyle on Magic Connect, actually. So I feel very educated on it. But as always, I'll leave it to him until I'm ready to actually come up with something really cool to announce to you guys. But there's a lot happening there. And then of course with Bolster, that's the social platform that I'm very interested in, and we've been incubating because there's a current real lack and a need for Web 3.0 based social media systems that are actually usable. For those of you that have been around long enough, that we create, everything that we do has traction. I mean, I don't know how many projects you guys follow. As part of my job, I am always looking at a lot of projects, but I see tons and tons of issues with very, very high quality technical projects getting released and having very little traction. And it's a real problem. And it doesn't always have a straightforward answer. But when it comes to SocialFi, as it's come to be known, there's a huge need for people to have a reason to connect their wallet to social media sites. And so one of the more immediate needs there is to create a sort of Patreon-like system where content creators can, be bringing in their communities to a place where they can earn additional subscribers and connect closer with their fans and not have to pay commissions on that. And so anyways, that's just a little bit about why, a little tangent here, but that's what the idea here is we wanted to make you guys aware of that. We want you guys to help us to promote those, and we're very excited about them. But regardless, so we're on OEC. In fact, let me, I think I can just change my wallet here. Never bought a world, Palo. Good old Pold. We go to combat. I think the entire point was I wanted to see what we have as far as probably pennies, but oh, very likely. I'm going to go with the easiest, though. I think I did do a barrel roll on the trampoline video. Yeah, you're right. I should have gone with the counter element. I know it's cringy. I just went with the lowest power. But look at that. I won the fight. I earned 0.0006. So, oh, I think you need a 3-star to be actually profitable. But anyways, the idea here is that we have a very low barrier of entry, very, very low barrier of entry. But now it's time to make the to make it more worthwhile to enter into the CryptoBlades ecosystem. So we have this steady growth. We have a lot of trust in the crypto space. Many of you who were with us through the dark times, the challenging times, where we sort of had to reinvent a lot of different things, from aspects of the game to the reward systems. We tried a lot of different things, and we finally have and are very comfortable with the system that we have. And it will continue to improve, which is part of phase 9. So, all this is to say, why now? Why are we implementing changes now? Because now we're getting ready to get into the next phase of CryptoBlades, which is 1 million users worldwide, daily active. So, because we've had over 1.2 million wallets connect to CryptoBlades, we have over 30,000 daily active users coming in across all of our chains. We want to bump that number up to 1 million. I think we can do it by the end of this year. I think our rate of growth has been fairly steady, but I think we can do quite a lot better. And there's a lot of initiatives that we haven't put into place because we've been waiting for the right time. And that time includes having things like our Launchpad, having things like our NFT prices increased, which is actually a good thing for the project, because people, as many of you know, they don't want to buy like 100 NFTs in order to be making a decent amount of money. They would love to have the option to purchase an NFT that's going to get them in one single go a decent amount of money. And so I'm not going to spill the beans on everything quite yet, but I am very excited about kind of what we're working on as a whole. So the scale prices of all of our NFTs will be dynamically going up, is basically what this phase 9.1 is. 3D graph, something like adventure is in scope. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. And I'm happy to go over actually quite a few of these right now. But the dynamic mint pricing, the way it works is when an NFT is minted, the price for the next purchase of that NFT, or really probably the next block, to be extremely technical about it, is going to go up. So by a certain percentage. And over time, that NFT price will also drop down. And what does that do? That's essentially mimicking the actual supply and demand of these NFTs. And it's also increasing the amount of revenue that we bring in Scale Token. It increases the floor price of all existing NFTs, because as those go up, the floor prices of all the NFTs go up. No one's going to sell an NFT that is a 3-star for less than the price of one that you can forge, for example. And if they do, then it'll just get, arbitraged, really. Somebody will buy it and relist it. We have an extremely active marketplace in that respect. In general, as the NFTs double in price, we're actually going to reset the floor. So as I mentioned, every mint, the price goes up. And then every second, let's say, the price goes slightly down. But overall, the trend that we are creating is that it will go up at a faster rate than it goes down based on user activity. And if it ever reaches a point where it goes down, 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 we do have a floor price in place. That way the NFT prices don't go to zero. And as they double, that's going to be the new floor price. And those floor prices won't be reduced. It's not I can say that the first floor price reset will be when it doubles. I don't know that it'll be when it doubles every single time. We're going to be working with our economics team and monitoring that very closely, but that's the specifics of it. And so in roughly 30 days, it really depends on the supply and demand, because we have some other things coming that are going to significantly, and I can leak these. I won't be releasing any details, but specifically with characters, there will come a time when the CryptoBlades characters that you guys all hold now and that are currently being minted between now and this point in time I'm referring to, where CryptoBlades characters will no longer be mintable in their current state. There will be additional character offerings that will continue to give a low barrier of entry to users, because that's how CryptoBlades came to be what it is that we are the accessible version of play to earn. But the CryptoBlades characters that all of you who are listening right now that you already have, those will become deflationary. So that's probably more of a leak than I was planning on even getting into here. And but I just want you guys to see the full picture of phase 9, and that's not even everything that we're doing. I'm not going to talk about 100% of it, but it's just that those are very, very closely related. The dynamic mint pricing and the NFTs becoming deflationary. So as I mentioned, we're going to be putting out a lot. I think the majority of phase 9 will be done. We're not talking months, but it could be a month, it could be 2 months. But we're not, this isn't something that's going to be like the end of the year. Like the vast majority of what we will reveal in an entire presentation with lots of pretty diagrams and everything for phase 9 as a whole will be done in the near term, is the best way to put it. So yeah, I know, I do. I get excited and I talk more than what I want, and so yes, so that's the big news. And I think I could actually probably even leak some Launchpad type stuff, depending on how much it's going to change. But I can actually check on that right now. Will the new characters still be profitable? Great question. And I know I'm really opening up Pandora's box by leaking something as big as that, but it is truly good for you guys, the players. And for the new players coming in, the really amazing thing about it is, and this is the part that still needs to be, implemented over the next in the coming future. But with the addition of the multi-farms, there's an ability for us essentially to create farms that would be farmable for certain characters. So for example, if we wanted to create a farm that kind of whales, or people with these Genesis 1 CryptoBlades characters, that if they want to be claiming, they would only be able to claim from a separate pool that's specific for the Genesis 1. And for these Genesis 2, they would be pulling and able to claim from a pool that's specific to them. So that way we don't have people on with massive earnings, driving down multipliers for the people who are newly coming in, and we can have all of them be having a self-adjusting multiplier that's specific just for the new Genesis characters. And so that's really one of the beautiful things about the setup that we have. And while the multi-farm isn't set up that way currently, and some of that development still needs to happen, the presence of multiple different farms that are funded individually and could potentially be sort of gate kept in different ways depending on the NFTs that you have, opens up a whole lot of different possibilities. the other option is down the line, and I just got the go ahead to show you guys a little bit of a closer look of the mock-ups for the upcoming Launchpad, which the wonderful Talenter has been working extremely hard on. So significant props to him for really everything that he does for CryptoBlades. He's kind of a boy wonder and jack of all trades, so to speak, when it comes to a lot of the things that have been released within the CryptoBlades ecosystem as a whole. But anyways, I will show you guys that. But to sort of wrap up what I'm talking about, we've always mentioned the idea that CryptoBlades is becoming more of a GameFi platform than it is a single play to earn game. And so another potential idea for these multi-farms is that if another project wants to utilize our pools and also put their project in front of many other GameFi players, as I mentioned, our goal is to have upwards of 1 million by the end of this year. They could create their farm using our technology, which we have already been tried and true and tested. Their users could utilize those contracts to claim their rewards. It can be managed by the teams, etc. And so this is like long term, but what I'm trying to get into your guys' heads is planting the seed that we're creating technology that can be used by any GameFi project, and we're using CryptoBlades to test out these theories and to see how the social effects of the technology and algorithms that we put in place and how to manage them and work out the kinks, and then offer that as services, which we can monetize in many different ways to help our tokens to generate operational revenue and to continue to grow into this vision for our company that I've seen from the beginning, which is a real trailblazer in blockchain gaming. That is really, in my mind, we're really digging the, they say trailblazing, like we literally are like digging through the weeds of many of the challenges of creating blockchain games, because we really believe that having a tokenized economy, having tokenized assets is really the future for blockchain gaming. So anyways, that's how I want you guys that's my way of kind of sharing with you guys how to be looking at some of our developments from more than just something that affects you guys, the players. We care very much about you. We are constantly working out how to add more value to the assets that you hold, the tokens that you hold, creating different engaging experiences that can teach you guys more about DeFi in general, that can teach you more about blockchain in general, or just even come and have fun and click a couple times, right? But we really go all in on kind of the lore and the fun and the experiences that you guys can gain from this from this technology. But let me go ahead and show you guys a little bit more about the Launchpad while we're here. Everybody was Paulo. Awesome. So much like what you guys expect to see on Launchpads, this is an entirely new product that is driven by the skill token and driven by your play to earn NFTs. And by the way, I have about 13 minutes before I got to hop on a call, so I'm going to make sure I get through as much of this as possible. But the idea is that you guys would have an experience that's what you might expect for people who have used Launchpads in the past, or if you're new to Launchpads, that it would be easy to use if you're just a play to earn gamer right now. Just a few simple steps to participate in them. With obviously these descriptions are placeholder, but there will be some KYC as is required for token sales. You'll have to submit some verification that you own the wallet that you'll be purchasing with, and then you will stake skill tokens, or additionally have a certain amount of unclaimed skill in your wallet that hasn't been pulled out. And the way I fully expect that to work is for people who are actively playing. The idea isn't that you'll never claim any of your winnings. The idea is, claim what you need for paying for gas prices, or taking your mom out to lunch, and then from there you can participate in these IDOs and use funds, use other funds, as I always say sell your shit coins, or use cash or whatever. But you can use your other funds to then buy these allocations, of which there's going to be different maxes and different tiers, which will release all of that, of course. But it's essentially a play to invest campaign. So all of you who are players, you'll be accumulating your unclaimed skill in certain amounts, which will allow you to purchase certain amounts of tokens at launch. You'll receive tokens as according to those distribution schedules. Maybe it's going to be all at once, or maybe it's going to be 20% at TGE, etc. We will properly inform you through the use of this Launchpad exactly what it is that you'll be buying. But the whole idea for me is that you guys can be earning from multiple different areas, not just from the partner token, not just from the skill token, but that you guys can be doing your own due diligence. Obviously, we will only bring things to the platform that meet certain criteria, much like we've done with the Knighthood program, which is why this is a really natural next step for us to take a look at projects that are coming out in the space. We have very good ins with many of the existing Launchpads, venture capital partners, projects in general, layer ones, et cetera, for us to be able to meet them and make sure that they're up to snuff, essentially. But then you can use your additional funds for participating in these IDOs. Our hope is that you guys can make a little bit of money there, which can, in some cases, I imagine some people will just keep growing their unclaimed and keep having a higher and higher max allocation for these IDOs as they keep going, as long as we do our jobs well and they profit well for you guys. And then obviously projects can apply there too. There's some other pages as well. So when you click on an actual page, you'll be able to see more of the specifics of the actual tokens. This is actually quite close to real data for Magic Connect, but like I said, we're going to be putting as much of this information as possible when it comes to like educating you guys about the actual projects that are coming in. And we do fully intend to list Magic Connect actually on this platform, as it should be live well before Magic Connect is looking to hold its IDO. And then of course, this is something that is possible either with us or with other partners. This is just a mock-up, but we imagine there would be some claiming interface either through our Launchpad or through additional Launchpads. Kyle, for example, has expressed an interest in having something like this developed, but there's a lot of people who already have it. So it's more a matter of, do we want to develop it on our own, or should we use one of our existing Launchpad partnerships to actually facilitate the claiming? So this one's not necessarily 100%, but this is we still had the design made just in case we wanted to go that route. So anyway, so that's also very exciting. We'll keep you guys in the loop on when the Launchpad is live from a technical standpoint, and when we'll have our first IDO on there, because we plan to do that rather soon. So if you're not a skill holder, I would buy that off the open market, as those who are grabbing the unclaimed will, I can assure you, actually have the highest tier qualifications, people who are holding unclaimed. So, you know, it might even make sense to buy more characters and then farm more unclaimed and hold it that way. But of course, if you're going to uh, you know, want to qualify for these tiers, the best way to do that is most likely not going through the multiplier right now. It would be through just buying it one for one off of the open market. But that's just a little suggestion, as I know some of you will want to get ahead of this with, you know, any sort of inevitable price increase in the skill token once this is actually launched and once we start bringing in a whole new demographic of investors into the skill token, really, which is people who are maybe they like to get involved in many Launchpads, or maybe they just like our allocations in which maybe they can get a higher allocation with a less amount of funds that are invested. So maybe selling some additional Launchpad tokens that they have on some other platform because they're going to get a better return for that money invested in our platform. You know, we obviously intend to be extremely competitive with that as because we are already a token with utility, right? Which is a main benefit to us over other launchpads. This is all done with a skill token. So skill token is always going to have its utility within CryptoBlades game, and we already have a ton of users. And so it adds a lot of safety to the people who are on maybe other launchpads where the only utility for the token is qualifying for the tiers. Here they can qualify for the tiers. Here they can earn good rewards with the staking. They don't have to worry about it dumping if there's not a good inflow of launchpad projects and things like that. So those are two of the biggest things that I wanted to get you guys aware of is phase 9, talking a little bit about phase 9 and phase, you know, subsection 9.1, I guess you would call it, which is the dynamic NFT mint pricing. The Launchpad, obviously, which is going to be coming out, probably one of the next features that get released, I would say, aside from PvP free-for-all, which is already on testnet, and we're very excited for that too. Yeah, so dynamic mint pricing. And then let me get through some questions in the next 5 minutes here before I have to hop on to a different interview. Will unclaimed skill then be transferable between accounts under this new system? Maybe something the team can think about so those with many accounts can pull them together. That is something that we've considered. I don't have an exact solution on that yet, but I will keep you guys updated on that, and we'll get with the developers to see maybe a timeline for something like that, or additionally, if there's any sort of maybe easy mechanism for you guys to utilize those unclaimed on one spot. ETH chain, that's a really great comment. I've long been considering if it would be beneficial for us to be on, for example, Uniswap or SushiSwap with the skill token and create a larger liquidity pool there, because there's quite a lot of potential investors who like to get involved in GameFi, but that maybe don't really want to get into other chains outside of Ethereum, or they don't want to pay the gas to bridge it out and then have to bridge it back in if they want to. So that's something I've long been considering, and maybe it would be possible for us to offer some liquidity incentives to bring some of, really it would be you guys over to create the liquidity pools there. But right now, we're definitely focusing more on chains where we have on-chain activity, and I have a lot of really good, that's actually one of the subsections of phase 9 as well, is our strategy for which chains we're going to be supporting moving forward. So that's something that you guys can expect more on either later this week or early next week. No ETA for the Launchpad. As you guys know, we don't do ETAs. All I'll say is it will most likely be the next major feature that's released for CryptoBlades, and it's actively in development. You guys will see when it's on testnet, which is a good indicator that it should be on mainnet as a natural next step from there. But yeah, it's coming. That's why I'm saying, if you want to start accumulating skill now, it would be a really good time to do so, because the Launchpad, we already actually have IDO launches that we want to produce. Magic Connect actually is one of them, but that's not necessarily in the immediate future. But we have some other projects that we intend to be launching on the IDO platform in the near future as well. So just waiting on the technology end. Efinity, I hope will be this year. It also depends a lot on their mainnet. So right now what they've launched is kind of like the very initial version of it. And it's time will tell. We're still even waiting on all the documentation to be created and things like that. So we'll keep you guys updated there. If the target is to get more users in the game, the treasury will gain more pressure in claiming. So one thing to note, guys, is that as we gain more users, we do actually gain more income. And we've noticed that that has gone up significantly with the amount of users who are coming into the platform. So in fact, the amount that we're putting out into the rewards is the same as the amount that we're getting in most cases. And of course, we have the Knighthood program, which brings in more users in addition to that. But as we gain more users, income goes up. Phase 9 includes additional revenue streams that I'm very, very excited to be announcing to you guys. It includes some changes which are, how to say it, better for the ecosystem as a whole, but as well as those who are, there's kind of a mix. There's things that are good for existing players, there's things that are good for the ecosystem, and there's things that are good for any future new players. We're really trying to address everything with these changes in phase 9, and it's the largest single change we've ever made to CryptoBlades at once. Okay, guys. Thanks so much for joining me on this today. Like I said, the NFT dynamic minting price should actually go into effect today, if not already live on many of the chains that we are supported on. So go ahead and you can take a look at that. If you want to get some last minute NFTs purchased, you can go ahead and do that before they start to eventually go up. Once it doubles, we will be readjusting the floor price so that it will never go less than that. And from there, we will kind of continue to monitor it and see how this goes. But and of course, with the Launchpad, stay tuned. Hold on to that skill, hold on to that unclaimed. This feature is coming out next for CB, and I'll do a full overview once we actually have the working version on testnet, and we can show you guys how it will work. But yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks so much, everybody. We will keep you guys updated on all of this. And until next time, love you all, and we will talk soon. Bye.